Hey everybody, coming to you live with a new video here. We have our first week update of our journey to high stakes, I guess we'll call this series. Yeah, as you can see here, we're off to a massive heater. Super grateful to start the series off this way. Um, I mean, it's 17,000 hands played in the last week. It means absolutely nothing. Obviously, variance is a thing. But yeah, and obviously we're running way above EV. Of course, we're quote unquote supposed to win about 7K, and we came in just over twice that amount, winning a little over $14,000 in the last week. So yeah, very good week. Um, yeah, that's it. That's as far as results. You can see all of the results down here laid out by stake level. I am shot taking 1K and 2K when the games are very good, as you can see here. But the bulk of my volume is played at about 500, 400, 500, 600 PLO. I've got two hands marked. I thought it'd be kind of cool to show two hands every week. Basically, um, the biggest pots that I win and the biggest pots that I lose. So I'm going to do that every week. I think it would be kind of a cool format, and hopefully you all enjoy that. But yeah, two hands really quick here. We face an open from EP, but we're five-handed. So I go ahead and flat call here with deuce deuce 7-7. I'm not sure if this is a thing against this table of players. I would say it definitely is a thing, regardless of what the solver says. This is a very good table, and yeah, out of five players, there's me and one other reg, and there's three other fish. So yeah, so we flat call. We face a squeeze from small blind. EP calls, and we have a very easy call in position. Just set mining for the most part, of course, and we do bink bottom set, so our hand is very easy to play. And we see what most of the time is going to be kind of a dream spot here. This guy jams 400, this guy rejams. Yeah, okay, we're going to run into some random 3-3, although not that often. And then king for sure. We're going to see king reasonably often. But I mean, yeah, obviously our hand's just easy to play. We're never fully in a set in the spot. So we go ahead and get the money in three ways. And we are up against, not sure why I can't see their hands. Let me unlock. Yeah, sometimes it does something weird where, yeah, I have to minimize it. But yeah, we're up against, oh, good lord, excuse me. I'm not sure why it does this. Every time I maximize it, it goes away. I'm not sure why it does that. But we're up against aces, top pair and a gutter, and then the nut flush draw here. So very standard by both parties. Um, yeah, so we get the money in three ways, and we actually end up holding for a $3,600 pot shipped our way, which is pretty nice. So this is the biggest hand that we've lost. And let me try to pull this up. I actually have it solved over here on the left, or excuse me, on the right, because I thought the hand was kind of interesting, and for sure in game I wasn't sure if I was punting away on the turn or not. So we have a fish on the button. He opens. We have a very easy and standard 3-bet, of course. He calls. On the flop, I choose the C-bet. I think this is the correct play. We block top pair, and we have two queens, backdoor flush draw. So with the two queens and blocking top pair, we block his continues pretty heavily. And yeah, I think just check calling to try to get the showdown kind of sucks. I think we have enough float equity on the flop. So we bet half pot, we get called. And on the turn, it's obviously a turn that I think our range can't go crazy here for obvious reasons. In position's going to have what I believe to be a lot more two pairs and straights than our range. So, but this combo is so unique in game. I tanked a while and I was torn between basically what I'm going to do. Right, like if I check, I've never checked folding, and against a passive whale on the button, who's really not going to semi bluff a lot as the in position player here. I think, and unblocking diamonds, of course. I think the best line of action to generate the most EV is to actually just go ahead and pot jam and stick the money in. And I have it solved over here, and you can see, yeah, when we pick up diamonds and we block top pair, our combo looks like it's mainly potting. about 65% pot. So yeah, and especially against a weaker passive player, um, yeah, I think it's even we're better off to jam even more. I think the way the spot works is basically when the turn only brings in one straight out of position can be reasonably aggressive, but when the turn brings in multiple straights out of position, then switches to a very often it checks way more than it bets, obviously. But we do end up shoving, and he jams, which is generally not good news for us. And again, I don't know why this is doing this, but he ends up showing up with the stone cold nuts, and obviously you can see his hand pre-flop is pretty loose action. So yeah, we stick it in on the turn with about 20% equity, and we brick. So we lose almost a $2,200 pot. So yeah, cool. That covers results. That covers the two biggest hands for this week. And yeah, as per usual, we'll go ahead and get into some live play. Let me load up some tables, and we'll take it from there. All right, let's make sure the recording's there. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, so we're back here. Got 4 tables loaded up. Have 2 tables of 500 on the top left, bottom left. Have a table of 200 top right, and then a table of 100 bottom right. Simply because that's the action that's going right now. Can't get 4 tables of 500. It's midday my time. I don't know why I did that, but okay. So yeah, table 2 we 3-bet. This is a board that I will range bet for 1/3 with my entire range. And he shows king high and folds. Cool. This on table 2, I'm pretty sure it's fold, trip suited. Should have marked it. I wasn't 100%. Got some music going in the background. Hopefully that's cool. And I will try to remember. I had a couple of friendly reminders that you guys like seeing the dollars, I guess, especially when the pots get big. So I'll try to remember to click it over to dollars if we get into any big spots. So we have the limp here on table 2. Just going to mark him green. Easy fold versus an ISO, of course. Looks like my note didn't take for some reason. I don't know where the color is. Strange. Same thing here, bottom right. Alright, so facing button raise, table 3. Yeah. Pretty sure it's a defend here. Table 2 is kind of interesting. Table 3, I don't lead very often at all. This combo will obviously not be led. Not closing the action here. Actually, let me mark this spot on table 2 first. Pretty sure I'm fine folding here. Table 4, not closing the action. I'm actually going to fold this hand. It's a pretty tight fold, but I see it all the time. These guys that limp from EP, they have like a pretty aggressive limp raising range that obviously contains a lot of aces. And not like if I had an ace in my hand, I would be much more likely to continue. Table 3, I definitely have some leads here. And my only size that I use, I believe, is... Actually, this is a kind of an interesting spot, because I know on different board textures, I just go 1/3 when I lead here. I think on the ace, I don't think I can actually get away with leading quite a lot here, just because it's so good. It's such a good card overall for imposition. Yeah, I think this board is super unique. I don't know if I lead here at all, but I did screenshot it, so I'm going to check it later. If the board was different, like if the turn was a 9 here, I could lead my hand. I'm going to go for the call here without having any backdoors, or excuse me, any backup. Unfortunate river. Yeah, nothing to do but just check and hope that imposition checks back. If he fires river large, I think I just have kind of a natural fold here. Yeah, not surprised to see this. Yeah, I just have a natural fold, I'm pretty sure. Like my Jack 10 combos with an ace, I would think about calling. Obviously a king would be pretty nice to have, but this just naked, not blocking anything at all. Pretty happy folding here. Unfortunate river. I don't know why my marks are not working here. Do I need to like type more or what? Type a letter or something? What the hell? That's super strange. I do not know why. Oh, there it is. Ha! That makes sense. Yeah, easy fold here. Versus small blind, defending range. And then obviously, given my lack of removals on table one, I would not be c-betting. And then, yeah, obviously when he pops into me, um, yeah, pretty easy fold, of course. Pretty funny play. I don't know why this keeps coming up. It's so annoying. It's the Jurogen auto reload thing, but I'm not sure why it keeps doing that. Versus middle position with this combo, probably pretty darn close, especially since the guy's only 50 big blinds deep. On the button, it's a very clear call. This spot is much closer. I'm going to make a tight fold. Not sure. Hopefully get into some interesting spots here. Kind of the same song and dance I'll play for about 30 minutes or so. Okay, yeah, so this guy's definitely a fish, which is nice to see. Double suited tens with the deuce three, it's just too weak, even from cutoff. Yeah, pretty interesting. It's about, like I said, mid-afternoon my time, about 3:30ish, and even at this time, games seem pretty damn good. Yeah, so this guy makes it 5x. I mean, again, it's the button can rejam pretty aggressively here, especially if it goes call call. He'll be incentivized to do it with a lot of hands. So I'm just gonna fold here. Plus, my hand isn't like amazing for calling a 5x pre-flop open out of position versus two players. Lots of limping, lots of limping. It's good, always a good sign. Yeah, I think this is a little too weak. Even versus perceived to be most likely passive fish, that's probably not going to ice me that often. I do think that Horning's a little too weak. Yeah, so I decided to record Ignition for this episode simply just to switch it up. I think it's just kind of nice to switch things up for the videos formats. I know a lot of people feel that 2 tables of brush is too fast, and so maybe 4 tabling a site like Ignition is a lot more chill. Yeah, another limp here. Table 4 versus a punish without the nut suit. I'll lay this down. This would be a standard 3-bet for me. If this was a just a standard open from the call, this is a very standard 3-bet. But this guy pots on table 3. I'm gonna fold. But you have to also keep in mind he's ISOing a limp. So on average, his range should be much stronger than if you were just opening from the cutoff with a quote-unquote normal range. We'll see what this guy shows up with here. Okay, alright. Easy fold, table 2. Heads up. I mean, I generally don't play heads up. I guess I'll play some for the video. Easy open, table 4, of course. Yeah, this is a 1-2 table 2, so I'm assuming my opponent isn't a crusher or anything like that. Oh yeah, table 4, just easy check, of course. Checking close to range, per usual. Kind of an interesting spot. We don't have any backdoor flush draws. The 6 is not a clean out. The 10 and queen obviously are very good, and then an 8, of course. No backdoor flush draws. Have some backdoor straight potential. I think it's probably too weak to just check fold. But I'm very, if I could check fold like an 8x with a couple overs, this is probably one of them. But I'm going to peel. Table 2, I'm just going to fire. Blocking a lot of 7x, have a lot of good turns that wrap around the 7 that I can continue to barrel on. I can't show down jack high, so just going to fire here. And check on table 4, of course. Expect a lot of bets here from in position. Half pot, I mean, kind of a retarded sizing in my opinion. The flushes that he wants to bet here generally want to go full pot. I guess I could see some small betting as a part of some strategy that might work well. I mean, maybe it's not that bad of a strategy now that I think about it. But yeah, this is not how I play this spot. I'm like super polar here, so it's kind of whatever. Yeah, table 1, check back. Tempting to lead, second pair, straight draw blocker, but again, no backdoor flush draw. The hand doesn't barrel well. Don't block any of the 6-7 combos, so I'm just going to check fold this. And yeah, same thing, table 2, I'm just going to bet. Expect to not get check raised a lot at all by players. Just in general, as bluffs, right? But especially at the 1-2 level. They're going to play pretty straightforward and honest. On the ace, yeah, I mean, I just naturally have a lot of check backs, and we'll be betting the river, of course. Jack-Jack 4-4, is there a point of ISOing this versus a limp? I don't really think so. Very easy fold here on table 2. Would have bet if check 2, of course. We need him to like be turning an ace into a bluff there, or some type of like weird pocket pair. Yeah, we just don't have to call that hand. King high, I mean. So this guy ISOs, very easy, just check fold, I suppose. And yeah, table 2, very natural check here. Not going to be folding, going to be continuing. Table 2. It's pretty interesting. Table 1. If it checks through, we're going to be blasting river with 2 straight draw blockers and a diamond blocker. Very easy call, table 2. And yeah, I guess we'll overcall here as well. Table 3. Kind of an unfortunate river, like 7-8 now. We get called by quite a lot. Yeah, fold here. How do I want to play this? And I have a 4 high diamond. Yeah, I think on the 6, it's just too easy for them to have some like higher straight draw blockers like 7x, 8x. So I'm just gonna check and play. Kind of weak in this spot, to be honest. I think it's okay. I mean, I somehow win with jacks, which is absolutely insane, but cool. Yeah, easy fold here, table 3 versus EP, and a cutoff call, triple suited. Interesting, table 1 here. I mean, yeah, we just have an easy natural bet, I think. See a lot of passive players checking hands like this back because they're afraid of getting check raised, but and we block so hard. So we want to start betting and generating folds if possible. So yeah, I mean, on this turn, I'm just going to barrel again, simply because the perception is, my perception of how population plays is they look at this as a very, lockdown board, and a lot of his draws as an out of position player will actually fold the turn. Yeah, and I just need to have some kind of just natural bluffs. And now it's funny because once I make my hand on the river, blocking straights and unblocking a pair, my inclination is to go for the hero check back. I'm either going to half pot or check. And I guess I have to. Versus a fish, I probably just need to go for value here, a half pot. Expect for him to like never fold a flush. But yeah, I mean that's the danger of like going pretty thin there on the river for value. I mean, it's not that thin. I have the freaking nut flush, and I'm only betting half pot. I mean, I'm probably overthinking it, to be honest. My play's probably fine, but it does feel bad, right? Like when you triple barrel, and then you kind of like value on yourself. But I think I'm gonna mark it. But I think in a vacuum, it's okay. I mean, I'm gonna have bluffs here, so I need to be able to value bet thinly with hands like this. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those very rare and unique combos, in my opinion, where I block a straight, so I block the part of it, a huge part of his calling range that I want him to call with, and I unblock all pairs. So he's always going to have like, like the 9-7s, 9-5s, 5-5 makes perfect sense for him to play it passively. But yeah, when I block his, when you have the nut flush and a straight, you're just naturally blocking a lot of his hands that you want him to call with that don't have you beat, right? That aren't full houses. So it's kind of a unique and interesting combo. Again, I could be totally overthinking it. It could be a totally standard bet. But anyways, that's my thoughts right now. We'll check solver later. I know a lot of, actually, I think a lot of the times in that spot, I think solver hates my turn barrel because I block the nut flush draw, which is a huge part of out of position continuing range. But I guess when out of position doesn't check raise, he has a lot less nut flush draws as well. So I'd be kind of interested to see how much solver hates my turn barrel and potentially river barrel. But I have an inclination that it could be fine. So yeah, flop is straight here on table 4, but it's on a monotone board. So I think we're just forced to play this passively. Most plus EV play. Yeah, very interesting. I really, really don't see a reason to bet here on table 4. I mean, denying equity from overpairs can be interesting, but I think it's just, again, just too thin. And it makes a really good bluff catcher on a lot of rivers. The king is, one of the worst cards in the deck. You're going to see king very often, yeah. And I mean, versus pot in a multi-way situation, this line's dramatically underbluffed, and I'm just going to make what I consider to be a standard fold. Going to overcall here at table 3, proceed with caution post-flop. My hand's a little bit marginal of a call pre. Now our hand just plays pretty naturally. Very dangerous spot for us, right? This is why these hands are like fringe, in my opinion anyways, calling multi-way. Because you know, yeah, okay, we flopped the nut flush draw, but you know, we're obviously dead or semi-dead versus a lot of hands like ace, king, aces, etc. Versus a pot size raise here. I think having the 4 in my hand on table 2 makes us a fold. Again, I'll check it later. It's close, I would assume. Yeah, very easy call here. Table 3. And very easy check in the turn, just managing my timing a little bit. Yeah, so table 1, tempting to start like bluffing or whatever, but we generally just want to have more equity. And yeah, table 3, just checking, trying to get the showdown, although I think we win very infrequently. Yeah, just check full table 1. And yeah, too weak here on table 2 to do anything else. Okay. Yeah, so some great action here on ignition. Oops. Do a time check here. Okay. Play for 5 or 10 more minutes. Okay. Triple suited table 1 will be a fold. I guess I'll overcall here on table 3 simply because all of my opponents, all of them, look like weaker players, and so I can probably navigate post flop pretty well even with a garbage hand like this. Pretty good flop, table 1. Pretty interesting because obviously this board hits small blind flatting range more than buttons because small blind just has like tons of king-king. Obviously I block that, and I unblock a lot of his draws. I'm actually going to play this one sneaky and go for the check back because I block my own outs, and this is a board that in position wants to check back quite often. And what I mean, like when I block my own outs, when we get action on the flop, we're never going to be like crushing equity rise, right? When we unblock all the straight draws, he's very often going to have some hands like, you know, straight draws with some type of flush draw. Not a lot of nut flush draws because he would have 3-bet those combos pre. But yeah. So yeah, once it goes check check, I just have a very easy natural bet on the turn. My elected sizing is to block a lot on the turn. Once my opponents have checked to me twice, and yeah, now we just go for full pot size. I'm just going to take a little bit, manage my timing. And if we get raised, we'll just cry and expect to see king jack a lot. But we do take it down. Easy open from the cutoff. And yeah, easy call versus a 3-bet here on table 3. I think if this was, if this 6 was a 7, I think this is a 4-bet. But yeah, this combo is a very easy call. And yeah, I expect to see a range bet from population, even though ace 8-5, just the very nature of the two low-ish cards means you can't really go crazy on this board. It's not as good for out of position as population believes. We actually do see a check, which is pretty surprising. Yeah, I just have a very easy and natural check back, I believe. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting barrel spot because it's not like, I mean, I just think it's as simple as in position doesn't want to really bet a lot here. And then with me unblocking all of the pairs, I think it's more plus EV to just take a card here. I do have some nice turns, right? Like a 6, a 9, a 10, even a jack. I can continue on, so I don't want to bet fold that much potential turn equity. So yeah, kind of interesting. Like I see a lot of people like quote unquote exploit when people 3-bet and check ace high boards, which I mean I don't know. I'm not really an exploit guy for the most part. And then if you want to go the exploit route, the amount of times that I see in general, but specifically on ignition, for whatever reason. I think it's just because the site is overall perceived to be very, at least my perception is that it's very soft. Lots of fish, right? They just love to like 3-bet aces and see an ace high board and like, oh, I'll just check, you know, like I block everything, and it's kind of like a no limit deal. And they don't realize a lot of their aces should be betting for value and protection, of course. Versus MP here, I don't think this is a 3-bet versus MP versus cutoff and button all day. But yeah, I'm just going to call. Double suited, of course, I would 3-bet. This still might be a 3-bet, just unsure. Easy check, and yeah, versus a C-bet. A pot size C-bet especially, we'll go ahead and fold. It's pretty funny. People in reality are just doing you such a service when they choose to take those you know, lines, I'll call them, where they're just potting as in position player, basically like waving their hands in the air that they have very few bluffs, and if they do, you know, that's even better for you because your range is going to continue versus a pot size bet is just so strong where you just absolutely, you know, annihilate all of their bluffing range, and then everything else, you know, you just fold your mediocre hands. Like, you don't put me into a tough spot at all, you know. I just play very straightforward. So yeah, got some blocking effects in here, but not enough. Not enough. So I'm going to take a card. Plus, you want to have some nut flushes in your check back range. And yeah, facing pot size bet, we'll just go ahead and let it go. Don't matter. So I'm also recording on a different PC this time too. So I'm hoping the recording quality would be much better. Yeah, easy call, table 1 here versus button range. And yeah, definitely a board I can lead a lot, but obviously this candidate is not going to be in there. Yeah, just have an easy open fold here, I think. Table 3. Yeah, table 1, especially on a spade turn, I think my hand just wants to check fold. I mean, now I have a straight draw blocker. I can't win by checking, and I block kings and queens and jacks, which is good. I unblock an ace, which is bad. I expect to get called a reasonable amount here, but I think with a straight draw blocker, given the fact that it checks all the way to the river, I can be aggressive here. I think it's fine. I think it's better than just checking and surrendering the pot. So, and we do take it down. I think I'd be aggressive with like any straight draw blocker on the river, even when ranges are really wide and you expect to get called at a reasonable frequency. Very easy 3-bet, table 4, of course. Interesting board. Very, very high frequency check from out of position. Yeah, this hand, I'm pretty sure it's just a very natural check continue here. Okay. Once he checks back, yeah, we're going to fire turn here. And I think we'll be forced to fire a decent amount of rivers that aren't diamonds, just because he picks up diamonds very often. And he hits me with the old min raise, which it's like whatever. Ridiculous play, of course. Again, and he doesn't, like, even a hand like this. Is he really putting me into a spot? I mean, kind of. But not really, right? Like, a lot of his range is doing this. Picked up diamonds. Of course, some bluffs, but most of his bluffs had equity. I don't even have the nut flush. If I have the nut flush draw here, or king high flush draw, I've never fold, of course. But yeah, this is just a very just trivial fold in my opinion, because even if I make my hand on the river, I can't be aggressive. So yeah, it's a very easy fold. Plus fish, like they probably check back pure, like they're 2-pair and sets on that board just because they're afraid of the straight, you know what I mean? And yeah, you see that all the time. And then obviously they make their hand on the turn and they just start min raising. Obviously it's a very fishy line and strange and suspicious line, quote unquote. But yeah, we just play accordingly and yeah, just fold. This one's definitely interesting for sure. I wonder if this hand leads. It doesn't want to check raise, and it doesn't love check calling. So I'm actually going to find a lead with this hand. I think it's pretty good, at least at some frequency. Like, yeah, and just taking it down there, I mean, it's pretty good. Very easy call here, table 4. Annoying we have the small blind that's short that can squeeze a lot. Yeah, and of course, as soon as I say it, it happens. Super annoying. Yeah, okay, so we're being a little bit deeper with this guy, or 100 big blinds deep. Yeah, I think we just still call. Table 3, very easy call. It's kind of annoying. This guy's gonna jam pretty much every flop, but yeah, our hand plays fine. So this guy finds a pot-sized lead on table 1. Again, it's kind of the same deal. I mean, we have backdoor straight and nut flush draws. I mean, the nut flush draw, yeah, fold on table 4, of course. Folding the backdoor nut flush draw hurts like quite a bit, but our backdoor straight draw potential is very limited, right? And then like name a turn where we're like super happy when our opponent continues for a pot-sized bet. And again, it's like the same deal, right? He's leading pot. I just infinite better hands to continue here. It's just infinite. So I'm actually going to make a tight fold here. Very tight fold. Yeah, I mean, not surprising he shows top 2, but of course I'm sure I'll have other hands in his range, of course. But again, the vast majority of the time, they're just going to have some type of strong hand, right? Like top pair plus open-ender or whatever. A hand that does very well against my holding of just dry aces. That's a spot I see a lot of players just like, oh, I can't fold this hand because backdoor potential, blah, 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 when in reality, your hand is very, very often very far behind of your opponent's pot donking range. It's usually very, very strong. Okay, so we're about 38 minutes into the video. Play a couple more rounds here and wrap it up. Not the most exciting session, but that's how it goes. So our combo on table 1 will be 3-bet versus cutoff or button. Interesting table 2, flop top set. So yeah, easy 3-bet here. Do I want to check raise this top set combo? I don't think so, actually. I think it's not that strong of a top set, right? Plus, versus a limping range, people tend to be pretty passive in general. So this spot, ace 5-4. Alright, so table 2, picking up. Yeah, I mean, people just are not aggressive enough, so I'm going to just keep betting here. I think pot is my only sizing I would use here on table 2. Table 1, no backdoor flush draw. I guess I'd rather just bet, fold it. I do have a 10 of spades, which is nice. Some type of blocking effect. Yeah, table 2. I think trying to check raise is a mistake. People just do not value bet thinly enough. So this is kind of like the same deal I was talking about earlier with these ace-x low boards. It's really not that great of a board for me. Just thinking, like, there's no good turns for my hand, though. That's the problem, right? Like, if I had a backdoor nut flush draw or something like that, I think I could put it into my check calling range for balancing purposes. But yeah, this combo is just so weak. that hates every single turn of the deck pretty much, except for like a king and queen, etc. So I like to bet fold it. I'll check it in solver later. Short stack on the button here. I really don't like sizing down. I really just like tightening my opening range and just still full pot sizing. So yeah, versus this guy, I mean, this combo is just kind of I block basically nothing on table 1, so we're just going to check here. So 3-bet pot multi-way, table 2. We fought the nuts. Yeah. I think on this board texture, I'm going to fold table 1. Again, I think people are just so ridiculously passive. And I unblock the King of Hearts, which is a big, big deal, of course. Definitely a potential cooler situation. So I think I just want to start betting for the most part. I could definitely see an argument for checking here, because it's not like they're going to have a lot of sets in 2 pairs, right? On Queen 4 Deuce. Like Queen Queen's a thing, obviously, but that's about it for the most part. Once he calls, yeah, I see no reason to slow down. Just try to stack a flush here, basically. You do get a fold, unfortunately. Easy open table 3. Not a great board. Table 3, table 4. I do open this. You can trip suited from the cutoff, I think. So this one's kind of interesting, table 3. I do have 2 queens, which is nice. And my hand cannot absorb turn aggression whatsoever. I mean, it has a nut gutter, but that's it. And even like one of their outs are dead, right? Like the 10 of clubs, etc. 7, 7, 8. Only one gapper. I think I can open this table 2. This spot is kind of whatever. It just has like really shit barreling potential. I have the Queen of Spades, which is good for some backdoor stuff, but I'm really unsure about table 3. Like, trying to get this hand to showdown is a thought, but it's not a huge thought, right? Like, I think I lose the pot very, very often playing my combo this way, but I also think it's not strong enough to barrel, and it could very, very quickly become a kind of a spew spot for me. So we check again, just trying to get the showdown here. Table 2, very easy call versus a 3-bet. And yeah, even versus this sizing, I mean, God. What do I call here? I call, obviously, King X, Ace X. How many Ace X do I have? I just range check table 2. I mean, yeah, for the price, I guess I just have to pay off here, of course. It's very rarely a bluff, but I think I have to pay off there. I can't just call an ace, because when I play my range that way, I don't, I have some ace X, but not an absolute ton of them. Yeah, easy call, table 2. Oh, wow, hit gin. So I guess we can switch this to dollars now. Could be a big one. Very easy check. And when he bets, what does he bet here? He bets very large, actually, into this pot, so that's quite nice. And yeah, we just have no, I think the only option here is to jam, actually, because we're going to have a lot of semi-bluff candidates, like wraps plus flush draws and things that want to play it this way. And I don't expect him to fold very much of his range that elects to take a large sizing like this anyways. So we're actually going to jam, and I know it looks probably... Yeah, so he's drawing to a 3 only, which is nice. Obviously, there's a cooler. Let me see here. Table 1. Yeah, we have good blockers. Again, I size down these ace high boards. King of clubs is super good to have. And once we play it like this on the river table 4, I have a very easy bet. Just talking about, or excuse me, thinking about size. I think just half pot is quite nice. Pretty annoying spot table 1. We somehow get check raised here. We block his bluffs. And yeah, it's just an easy fold, I think. And we'll fold here as well. So this guy had, I think he had like an interesting like ace XX double, like low suit or something. Some weird combo. No, that's 3 bets fine. Yeah, it's just a very standard hand from both, I think. I think you can argue, I'm going to mark this as well. I think you can argue, like, obviously I can slow play my hand here, having spades, but unblocking, like, turn hearts and blocking, like, a lot of his straight draws he'll have for bluffs, and then just, you know, very naturally unblocking, like, all the overpairs. I think our hand just plays better as a jam. But again, especially when he chooses to bet the turn very large. Kind of defines his range a lot more for us. Basically, I'm going to have less bluffs versus that size, if that makes sense. So, again, betting large, like in certain spots, just kind of makes it easy for your opponent. Table 1. Yeah, I'm just going to start blasting here versus a check back range. And yeah, very easy, just follow through here. Definitely have lots of bluffs. And expect for Queen X to call reasonably often. So table 1, this guy full pots. This is at 51. I think I just want to pot. I mean, he's not folding. I do have a straight draw blocker, which is nice. I'll block some of his hands that he continues with. Obviously, he has spades like very, very often. But, I mean, yeah, generally when they full pot, it's rare that they're folding. Again, you know, it's just they're kind of defining their range. And if they're full potting with some type of like weird bluff, that's great for us. Just free money, basically. Versus a 30 big blind stack, table 1, we'll go for the limp call. And yeah, I'll actually go ahead and sit out all big blinds here and wrap up the video. Yeah, table 3, I do not 3-bet these aces. They're not strong enough, I'm pretty certain. Sometimes lead this board, not with this hand. Table 3. Table 1, yeah, I check this board quite often. But I think with no overcards, yeah, we'll just go for the bet here with Jack, Jack, 6-6, having outs, etc. Yeah, so high equity card for in position on table 3. I expect to see a bet very, very often, and we do see a bet. Yeah, I think I just pure check raise this candidate. Ace 7-7-4. Obviously, with the 5, it's a very easy open. I'm not sure about this combo. I'm going to mark it. Yeah, we're just going to pot raise on table 3. Pretty easy spot to play so far. A lot of dicey rivers, and this is one of them, of course. So, okay. My block is 7. I mean, multiple straights get there. 7-10, though. I do block 7-10. I don't block Queen 10. Yeah, obviously. Wish I had a stronger. I'm trying to decide whether I block or check. Definitely don't bet large with this combo. Yeah, I don't even know if blocking makes that much sense, honestly. When I have top set. It's tough, man. Like, yeah, fuck. Oh well. It's tough to say, man. Like, having top set and blocking so much. And then also, like, you know, when you block, you kind of induce a lot or whatever. Yeah, table 4, easy 4-bet, of course. Easy ISO, table 3. Yeah, this spot's, like, whatever, I guess. I guess that once I think about it more, I mean, what are my options here? I think my play makes sense. Like, just check folding the river, actually. That's what I'm trying to ask myself. Like, if I check, what's my plan, right? What sizing do I call, etc. And I think, yeah, on this river, without a really irrelevant straight draw blocker and having top set, yeah, we're getting it in table 4, of course. Table 3, very easy to see, but I like to use only half pot on these boards. So this guy, yeah, some loose action here. He flops the absolute joint with a garbage hand, which is pretty funny. Yeah, table 3. Yeah, we ISO bet half on the flop, and yeah, no reason to slow down. We're just gonna pot. Hopefully, he just shoves turn. We're gonna see a lot of shitty rivers, right? Like any spade, any club, for the most part. Obviously, our combo like probably just sticks it in on those rivers. Yeah, of course he just calls, which is annoying, but the river bricks out quite nicely for us, which is nice. So I have an easy jam. Expect to call it very often, of course. 2 pairs, sets, etc. Just hoping for the call. Nice. And we do ship $400 pot. Very cool. But yeah, this spot's, again, pretty interesting. I think my thought process makes sense, though. Specifically with top set. Like, obviously, if I had, like, any other set, really, any other set, like 9s, 8s, 5s, somehow, like, some weirdly played jacks, unblocking top pair is so critical. I can just pure block sets without even a straight blocker, I'm pretty sure. But this combo is just so unique. But I'll definitely check in solver. So. Now, it's turned into a longer video than I had anticipated. Hopefully you enjoyed it, though. Queen 9, 8, 7 in the cutoff. I don't know, but I'm going to open it. Certainly can't be horrible, especially versus population who under 3 and 4 bets. It's so freaking insane, man. It's like not even just ignition. Like every side I play, I cannot remember the last time I've seen a 4-bet bluff. A 4-bet that wasn't aces. It's like ridiculous. Easy call here. Nah. It's not a board we can really do anything with. Out of position should have a reasonable high checking range. I wonder if this hand can actually stab. I'm going to have no potential to win, right? Like, any jack is better to stab, but, like, all of my jacks that I have an actual straight draw for the most part. So I'm actually going to take this spot. And just understanding that, like, I'm just trying to get him to fold the very weak part of his range, like the worst aces, right? Yeah, and then obviously now we just take our showdown. It's an annoying spot because once we check back turn, I expect river to be bet, like, very, very often. A board pairing river. Now that would be interesting, but we don't find it. Oh, wow. Snap check. Man, I mean, oops. Versus snap check. Snap check. Is it too thin? Probably. I'm just going to knit it up and check. I mean, snap check. I think it's very natural for people to trap this spot quite often because my range is kind of face up on the turn. And I just struggle to see how I actually get paid off with worse there. All right, so that's the last hand. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. Pretty decent, quick session. Not a lot of spots, but we got into a few. Yeah, until next time, good luck at the tables. And yeah, please remember to like, follow, subscribe, all that crap. Go ahead and add me on Discord and join our community. You're totally welcome to send hands to me and our community for nothing, and I'll give you my opinion. It makes me better at the game as well. And yeah, catch you guys next time.